that actually provided billions of dollars so far to purchase food from local farmers to give it to both food banks and local schools. So basically, by killing this program and stripping this funding away, that, by the way, back in October when Biden was still president, they allocated another $500 million to the program. And for the record, the program was actually started by President Biden as part of the American Rescue Plan enacted in the year 2021. So Biden put this program together that provided billions of dollars over the years to local farmers, fed hungry kids at school, gave food to food banks. Farmers were making profits after suffering under Donald Trump's trade wars during his first administration. And this administration came along and said, nope, we're not doing that. And now farmers across the country are sounding the alarm bells because that funding that they had received and assumed was going to keep happening made up as much as 35% of their incomes. So not only are we now saying hungry people are going to starve, hungry kids at school are going to starve, local communities are going to lose that economic activity, but now these farmers who had made significant investments in their farms are telling us, I'm screwed now, and I'm probably going to go out of business. Because here's what happened. This is what these farmers are saying. When this money was promised to us, what did we do? We bought more land. We bought more livestock. We planted new and different crops. We bought more machinery, and farm machinery is not cheap. And they didn't have the cash immediately, so of course they financed these things. And as the money comes in from these programs, they're able to pay those loans each month like everybody else does. And that money is now officially immediately gone. So these farmers are now saying, I can't pay, the loan on my tractors this month. I can't pay the mortgage on this property that I bought. I can't pay the lease on this property. I am about to lose everything because this program is gone. Oh, and by the way, when I lose everything, I have to shut down. When I shut down, the food that you eat disappears. So this is not a problem just affecting the agricultural economy in this country. It will send shockwaves, not ripples, but shockwaves through the entire U.S. economy. It threatens to cause a food shortage here in the United States. That's what they're telling us we're on the verge of. Not something that could happen in the far-off future. We're on the verge of it right now because of an idiotic decision by Donald Trump because he didn't want any Biden policies still existing. And he doesn't care who he hurts in the process. Let me read you this. 94% of last year's local farm purchases to the food banks and schools came from socially disadvantaged and historically underserved producers. So we're not talking about the big factory farmers. We're talking about the local farmers in your community, disadvantaged people, people in low income areas. That's why these programs are vital, because it provided food for people in low income areas. 94% of it went to those folks. So there's another reason, of course, why Donald Trump doesn't care about the program, because he doesn't care about anybody unless your net worth is in the high hundreds of millions, preferably into the billions. If you're lower than that, he doesn't give a damn if you live or die. Here's a quote from one of the farmers. Without this support, we risk losing more than income. We risk losing the ability to sustain our land, our families, and our way of life. This decision doesn't just impact ranchers. It threatens the entire rural economy, including locally owned businesses like our USDA meat processing facility, which depends on ranching families like us to stay in operation. Perhaps most concerning, it makes it even harder to bring the next generation back to the ranch. Another farmer said this, It's not like turning on water from a sink. It takes time for farmers to put crops in the ground, for ranchers to get their operations adjusted to new market opportunities. And so, when something like this is really an abrupt end to a program, it just puts the brakes on everything that had been building beautifully for the last few years. The program worked. The program was helping to revitalize lower income communities across the country. It wasn't just the farmers getting money. The farmers, like I said, were spending more money. The children at school were not going hungry. Lower income people had access to food at a food bank that was fresh, produced by people down the street. Everything about what the society should be in this country with this program was immediately taken away by Donald Trump. And he doesn't care about the consequences. He doesn't care about the coming shockwaves, because the only thing he cares about is himself. Thanks for watching today, everybody, and